A bit of a serious show today. We're moving into our Cup for a Cause segment, and we're dealing with the Single Fathers Association, and they have been an association that evolved, I suppose, out of a need. I have the president with me, Mr. Rondell Fields is here, and I want you, Mr. Fields, to first give us some background. You are not only the president, but the founder of this organization. So you obviously saw a need to create this organization, to create representation for single fathers who obviously has some sort of negative, there's a negative tone to when you hear a single father.
Well, what really happened, my personal experience is what really spawned this. My son means everything to me. And we had, at the magistrate court, we had half access from the time he was 6 months old. So I took care of him. I was at 24 at the time. And when other guys would be out partying, I was changing pampers, feeding formula, doing what I had to do because I didn't have a dad at my age. I had one, but a court order kept us away from each other as well.
Right.
So I knew what I lacked out on. So I went the distance to try to be in his life. And his mom thought I had a little too much access by having them equally. So we ended up, making a long story short, we ended up in the High Court. And at the High Court, the judge herself, she decided that she didn't see the relevance because he was a boy to really have that amount of access to me. And it was already reduced from 15 days a month to 4 days a month, which is in other words the traditional routine that a father who wants to be involved is involved. And to me that was totally unacceptable because I know the bond and relationship that I had with my son. I know the bond and relationship that I lacked when I was a boy. So I just couldn't sit back and allow it to happen like that. And well, I'm the vice president of the Foreign News Association as well, so I've been on the media. I know some media people, and I asked them to come on the morning show to really start and get out there because I've been around a lot of men who want to be in their kids' life, who've mentored me coming up in business and in other things. And I just believe that there is the presence of good fathers in society. And I believe that's the side that we needed to really get out there. That not every dad is a deadbeat, not every dad walks around, just want to abandon their kids and whatever. And many of us as boys here, or men right or wrong, or men of today would know the pains that we wouldn't speak about it because we believe we are men and we macho and we don't cry and we whatever. But sometimes we know we didn't have a dad to teach us to ride a bike, to fly a kite. We cannot learn on trial error or your neighbor taught you or something. And I just wanted to be the person that my son always remembered, teaching them those things. And I know a lot of men need the same thing too, so we championed off on that foot.
Yeah. Can I get you something to drink? Let me
orange juice would be fine.
Orange juice, get some orange juice. Every time you hear of a situation and you hear single mother, there's a sympathy. Single father, as I said, there's a different notation. There's a different tone when you hear single father. Because where I want to get is the single fathers, like yourself, doing a stellar job, fantastic. But there's another side of that coin that I'm sure you are very well aware of. There are fathers out there that are negligent.
But I always say people, their parents are negligent. Their parents that do the wrong thing as well. And I'm not taking away from any father not doing it. And I can tell you, since the beginning of the association, there are many fathers who have absconded or say, boy, I really wasn't in my kid's life. And because at the end of the day, there are fathers that contact us that pay maintenance religiously. But is this really enough? You understand? Is financial input enough in your kid's life? He wants you to be involved as well. Some people just so want to be away from the mother or whatever. They say, boy, honestly, before this association, I didn't really care to be involved in his life because there's always a confusion with his mom and I want to stay away from the home. I want to be away from that kind of atmosphere. But then when we sit on your council and we let them know you can't afford your child to lose your input, financial input is well and good. But sometimes that's the only focus that we have sometimes. So a dad is always deemed a good dad once he's paying maintenance, once he's paying bills. But father is a lot more than that. Any child that comes out of a home without a father can let you know that.
Is that the main objective of the association, to not just make the father's role about paying the maintenance, but also the four times a month is not good enough. You have to have a bigger role in your child's life. Is that the main objective of the organization?
No, the main objective is to uplift fatherhood in its entirety. Because the reason that you're given that amount of time is because the fatherhood and fathers are viewed in other words as, all right, they're not really the nurturing type, they're not the caring type. It's a risk to put them in your father's care. so to speak. So initially you would have thought, or we even thought, that it would be based just on going to court and showing the bias that exists in court. So you go to court and more mothers getting custody, more mothers getting more access than fathers. But now it's really evolved, showing that it's really something societal. Something is the mind of society needs to really go back, or needs to really start to appreciate fatherhood. Men need to really come out and say, hey, I've always been a good father. Because you've heard about the bad fathers. I've been a good father, and I've been in existence from a long time. So right now we're working on projects that we putting out ads out there. We're doing a project right now with every member and every political leader, with soca artists, with some of the old guys like Crow, Crazy, some of the business people within my community, the president of the Used Car Association as well, some of the mayor, Usher Warners, putting positivity about fatherhood. Men who have been fathers and men who have been there mentoring their kids and what it has meant to them. And you really, we've started already, and you actually see some of the ministers open up and give their stories of what their father did to them. So I believe this is our main objective, to uplift and appreciate what fatherhood in Trinidad and Tobago is in 2014.
I think one of your biggest challenges is the law and the courts in terms of changing that. Are you making a dent in that? Because actually, and I'm saying that based on the fact that I know of a personal situation where a mother was denied custody and the child was given custody, the father was given the custody. So I was wondering if you're making a dent where the courts are just seeing it for what it is and not just saying, okay, the parents couldn't make it, then the child has to go with the mother because she's in the nurturing time. Well,
of course, we're making dents. In other words, we have organized meetings with the with magistrates. We've organized with the Minister of Justice. So we're making dents on that. But as I said, the thing is, the way the law is written, it's written that, in other words, a child should be in the father and mother's life. So it's not that the law is really written badly, but it's just a little wide, so that the discretion is really in the magistrate or the judge. So whatever the judge or magistrate determines as in the best interest of the child, that's it. Whereas in first world countries or in other countries, because we actually have open associations in America and India right now, the way forward there right now is shared parenting, like in Germany and those places where you start at equal, but if along the process, any evidence comes up against the father or the mother showing that they are a threat to a child, that is when they cut it down, when they realize this is working out to be a lot more peaceful, because you're talking about the shared time would mean that you don't really have a maintenance issue, because half the time you're with the dad have to maintain the child, half the time you're with the mom have to maintain the child, and then at the end of the day, you're teaching men to be responsible as well. It's not just about saying, well, let mommy care for the child and do everything. You're teaching a man to care for the child as well. So that's something important.
Let me congratulate you first of all, because I just think the fact that you were able to recognize the importance for such an association and such a need in society is phenomenal in itself. So keep doing the fine work you're doing, and as I said, we keep in touch in terms of what you have coming up, and keep making those dents in what seems to be a norm that is changing almost as time goes by. All right, Mr. Fields, the president of the Single Fathers Association, dropping in for a cup for a cause this morning on Cup of Joe. Stay with us.